Hello YouTube friends. I was recently going over some comments on some of my videos, and one of them was the latest one that I've got, the Troublesome Waters video. A person had commented and commented about using the F chord in one of the places, and I can't remember who that was. I don't have it pulled up in front of me, but I do appreciate that comment, because it gave me an idea for this lesson. And basically, without doing a whole lot of talking, I'm going to have to explain some of this to you. But what I'd like to get into is what I like to refer to as a passing chord. Some passing chords that you can use in your playing, whether it be bluegrass or any song, really. And when I was singing Troublesome Waters, it goes directly from a G. I think I was playing it in G. It goes directly from a G, usually to a C. Troublesome waters around me now roll. Okay? And any song that goes directly to a C from a G, like Amazing Grace. Amazing Grace. The thing is, usually you would hear like one way of doing a passing chord, which I consider a passing chord, would be like a G7 there. So let's try it with Troublesome Waters real quick. Troublesome waters around now go. That was a G7. And on Amazing Grace it would be Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. Okay? And what I was going to suggest is that you kind of spice it up a little bit. Now with Troublesome Waters, instead of using a G7, I went to like a form of an F. It wasn't a whole entire F, but it was kind of similar to this the C here. When you're playing this type of G, with that finger in there, just to make it C, all you do is you move the first two fingers to the next set of strings. Okay? And if you want to make the F, the cheater, that's the cheater C, the cheater F, if you do the same exact thing, you go on the next set of strings. So you're at the 3rd fret of the D string, the 2nd fret of the G string, and then the 3rd fret of the B and the E string. So altogether, it sounded kind of like this. Okay. Now, with Troublesome Waters, here's the way it kind of ended up looking and sounding here. Troublesome waters around me now roll. Now let's do that with a full-fledged F. Troublesome waters around me now roll. Okay. Now, what I'm saying here, what I'm suggesting is that you use, in place of the dominant chord, the 7th chord, in this case G7, is that you'll use the chord that's based off the flatted 7th note of that chord. In other words, let's say we're playing in G like we were, and we decide instead of G7 we're going to play another chord. Here's the G. And the G7, usually, any 7th chord, whether it's D to D7, C to C7, you're going to usually add a note. In this case, we add, see how the chord changes? Here's a G, here's a G7. Well, if this is a regular G, when we switch to G7, what note has changed? The note from here, on the 3rd fret, moved to the G's flatted 7th, which in this case is an F. So instead of using that G7 with the F note, I'm going to say, okay, that F note is that flatted 7th. So what if I took the whole F chord instead and substituted that? It's a form of chord substitution. What if I took that and substituted that instead? And we would end up with this. Okay, that's basically how you would do that. That's the passing chord. There is that F, and it sounds good anyway. Like I said, it's the flatted 7th, so it's got that nice dominant bluesy type sound to it anyway. And if you're hearing songs kind of like Salt Creek, or Red Haired Boy, so it goes to C first. You get that F in there. And certain songs you'll hear just G to F. Like that song I wrote, Blue or Shady Green. It's all I need. Okay? So, in the case of Amazing Grace, now we did it for Troublesome Waters. Troublesome waters around the narrow road. In the case of Amazing Grace, it would come a little bit sooner and probably hold out a little bit longer. We're going to do it with a G7, then we're going to substitute it with that F. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. On the word grace is where the G7 comes in, so let's try it with that F. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. And what I suggest with this is that you don't do it every single time because it get old. You want to do it and kind of make a surprise out of it. Kind of like if you watch that video, Troublesome Waters, you will see that I don't change that F every time. It's just here and there, maybe on the chorus, maybe on a verse here and there. But I don't do it every time because you want it to slip in there. It's kind of like a surprise to the listener. And their ears perk up and they say, oh, that's different. What did he do there? So you got that F there to act as a passing chord in place of that G7. It just kind of gives it some more attitude. One other suggestion I'd like to give to you is that in that passing chord, maybe you can, let's take that F here. Maybe we can add or take away a note. Okay. Let's one way I like to play this F is a suspended version of that, and by doing that you just play a regular F chord and you lift your middle finger. And if you're not used to playing the whole F, you can just do this. You know, the three fingers there. So in place of that whole F, let's lift that middle finger and see what this sounds like. And the cool thing about this F chord that it also acts as the suspension for the C. That's the suspended fourth there. So it's acting as a passing chord for two different chords. You've got the G, which has connected to the G because it's got that the flatted 7th or the F note. But it also connects to the C because the F is also the suspension note for that C. And if you're just playing the C, all you do is put your pinky finger down on the 3rd fret of the D string. Okay? So you're hitting two birds with one stone, so to speak. With the G, you've got this F, and with the C, you got the F, and it kind of connects both of them together. So once again, that's just a little tidbit. Once again, you could take and lift that middle finger there. And let's take away another note. Let's go ahead and take away this bar and just hit the B string on the 1st fret without barring it across the E string there. And we're doing the same thing. We're going to take that F, and now we're going to lift that finger up and just play the C note there on the 1st fret of the B string, and then we're going to lift our middle finger. So all that we're fretting is the A and the D strings at the 3rd fret with our ring and our pinky. We're we're lifting up on the G string, it's open, and we're playing the first fret of the B string, and then we're playing the open E string. So now you have like an F major 7 suspended type deal, and it sounds really nice in some of these songs. Again, Troublesome Waters. Troublesome waters running out on amazing grace, how sweet the sound. And so now, by doing that, when you go to the C, you're sharing that suspended note, that F, but you're also sharing that E note of the C. There. So now you have a couple notes that are connected, so it even sounds like it belongs there even more. Let's try this for some other chords. Let's say you're playing in C. Once again, we'll take and make a C7. Well, just like we did in the G7, what was the 7th note? It was an F. What's the 7th note in the C? The B flat. So instead of taking that, we're going to say, okay, let's play the chord B flat in place of the C7. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. In this case, I did the suspended version of a B flat. Okay, it's just easier for me than having to press all the finger down. Amazing grace, how sweet. Okay, and that suspended just sounds, I don't know, it just sounds a lot better. Let's take D. Okay, now normally we'll use a D7. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. Okay, so the 7th note in the D, the note that changes, these two notes stay the same. We're just moving fingers. The note that changes is now it comes to a. The 7th note is a C. So instead of playing that D7, we're going to play the C chord. And a lot of people do this anyway on a lot of these songs. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. But it sounds even better, like I said, when you use those suspensions. You just use this cheater C. You know, and to do that from a D, you just put your pinky finger down on the 3rd fret, and then lift these two off. And you're going to put them on that where the C is. The middle finger goes on the 3rd fret of the A string, and the first finger goes on the 2nd fret of the D string. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. Troublesome water running out on. Just adding notes here and there, little suspended notes. And some of you recognize that anyway from Sweet Home Alabama. Okay, so they go from D to C to G. Anyway, my time is up, and I just wanted to let you know that's something you can do to enhance your playing. Instead of making the 7th chord, take the note that is the flatted 7th and use that as the chord. In this case, G7 was F, flatted 7th, use the F chord. In C, the 7th note was a B flat, and use the B flat chord in place of the C7. In D, the 7th note, flatted 7th, was the C note, so use the C chord in its many variations. And the chord that you decide to substitute with, remember to lift a finger here or there, add a finger here or there, maybe make it a C something else, C9 or something, some weird chord. So there's something to experiment with. So hope you enjoyed that. Check out, I'm going to put you some links on here to some of my other places you can check out, websites. And remember to subscribe and invite your friends. And check out, like I said, if you're interested in lessons in the Upper Cumberland area in Tennessee, Cookeville, Allgood, Rickman, Livingston, anywhere, Monterey, anywhere within that radius, you can find my information on those websites. So I appreciate you watching, and I look forward to making some more videos for you. Thanks a lot. See you next time.